Hello my friends, and once again, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're back out here in the Hunter Call of the Wild once again, and what we're going to be doing today is a detailed Great One guide. And look at this, we have a beautiful female piebald out there. Unfortunately, she is just a female, so she's going to make a great screenshot, but I don't even know if I'm going to taxi her, to be honest. Now, this is the third episode in the beginner playthrough series here on my YouTube channel, and basically for those of you guys that aren't too aware of this, basically what I'm doing is I'm documenting my entire transition from console to PC, and showing what I'm doing and how I'm doing it along the way to better help new players or players that just may need a visual in the beginner's perspective to get the best possible start to their Call of the Wild journey. And thankfully for us, here on the new main account on PC, we are now level 28, and as I always say in almost every one of my videos, I would strongly suggest being level 30 before you even think about starting a Great One grind. And since we're kind of creeping up on that level 30 status, we got basically all of those essential skills and perks. Meaning perks like breath control so your guys not wobbling all over the place, or recoil management, and things like that just to make the entire shooting and grinding process more efficient and easier to do in general, because those follow-up shots are so essential when grinding that it's pretty much essential to be level 30 and to have those skills and perks. But definitely stay tuned for my skills and perks guide video that I'll be making very soon, probably one of the next videos after this one, along with a detailed herd management guide. So we're going to cover just about everything here in today's video, guys, from finding your drink zones to getting set up. We're going to cover a little bit of herd management today, so make sure you guys do in fact stay until the end of the video, because of the fact that if you don't, you're going to miss out on a lot of crucial information that if you don't hear and fully understand, it can and very well will mess up your grind. And here's our piebald. Obviously she's going to score as a none, but still a very good screenshot there. We just leveled up. But anyways guys, with that being said, if you guys do in fact find today's video helpful, definitely go down there and leave a like, as it is much appreciated and it can help out with the YouTube algorithms a ton. Thank you guys all so much, and without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. So guys, the very first step to any grind, no matter what grind that is going to make sure that you do in fact have all of your drink zones for your specific species that you're grinding. Now there is two exceptions. If you guys are doing the pheasant grind or the tar grind, neither of those species do drink. So what you guys are going to have to do is find all of your different rest or feed zones, whatever you decide to grind them at. For pheasants, it's most likely going to be feed zones. For tar, it's really your choice, considering they rest and feed in the mountains of Sundar Patan. But I will say that the pheasant grind is going to be a lot easier than the tar grind, as the tar grind is one of the most challenging grinds in the entire game. So as a beginner player, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I would not recommend doing the tar grind. Now you're going to want to make sure that you do have all your drink zones, because of the fact that if you don't, you will not get consistent respawns, and you will not have an efficient grind. Something I would like to clear up is the fact that you don't need all your drink zones in order to spawn a great one. In fact, you could literally shoot one male, and that one male can respawn as a great one. It's extremely unlikely, and grinding is definitely the way to go, but believe me, I have seen it happen. I actually have a friend who was just casually hunting fallow deer once. They literally just bought Teawaroa, killed like 5 or 6 fallow deer, got on the next morning, and they had a great one on their map. So yes, it is very possible, and that's another reason why I would strongly suggest just casually hunting every Great One species in the game. Kill males only for the Great One species, because you never know, you could get on one morning and there could be a Great One on your map. Definitely let me know down below if something crazy like that's ever happened to you. It definitely hasn't for me. I've done 3 Great One grinds and spawned 3 different Great Ones, one of those being almost a 8,000 kill grind. Yes guys, the fallow deer were not very nice to me. Now, something that's going to make you guys' life a heck of a lot easier when looking for drink zones is going to be a hotspot map. Now, I'm going to go ahead and throw the Red Deer hotspot map up on screen for you guys right now for here in Teawaroa. And in today's video, I actually am just using Red Deer as an example because it is one of the easier grinds. But if you guys want to see me set up and start my black bear grind, I would strongly suggest staying tuned for videos on that. Or you guys can tune into the live streams, as we are going to be getting set up here fairly soon. Now, if you guys don't know what a hotspot map is, it's basically a map that shows you when and where to hunt every single species in the game. Now, before we move on any further, I just want to give a huge shout out to ProXCK for allowing me to use all of his hotspot maps in my videos and in my Discord. You can find those hotspot maps in my Discord and in his Discord, which are both linked down in the description, along with his YouTube channel. Definitely go give him a subscription, because he is a very good friend of mine and is overall a very good Call of the Wild content creator, and I would strongly suggest checking him out. When you guys are looking for your drink zones, you're going to want to use a hotspot map, because it's going to highlight every single area that they can possibly be at. That's when they're drinking. along with showing you what their drink time is. Now for red deer, as you guys can see, they drink 6 to 10 here in Tiawaroa, and at all the places that are highlighted are all the different places that I'm checking. Now I've already found all of my red deer zones here in Tiawaroa, so I am in the quote grinding process. I put a quote over that because I'm not actually fully grinding for them, I'm just casually hunting them, as they are one of my favorite deer species to hunt, and I figured red deer would be the perfect species for today's video. They just make a great example, they're beautiful deer in general, and they pay very well, which is definitely something that we need. So really in the end, what you guys are going to want to do is pull up the hotspot map for the species that you're grinding, set it to their drink time, which again is listed on the hotspot map, and check every area that they can potentially be at. Now this is going to take you a few different time resets to do. There's no way that you could check every single place that they can drink at in one time zone, so you're probably going to have to reset the time 2 or 3 times when searching for your zones. And in that process, you guys are going to find probably at least 2 diamonds, I would say. It's going to be different for everyone, but everyone does have diamonds on their map. It's just a matter of finding them. And when you're setting up for a grind, you're searching for all your different drink zones, so you're going to find a lot of different deer. As long as you found all your drink zones, you're going to see every single deer on your map, or every single bear on your map, whatever you're grinding, etc, etc. So therefore, if there is any diamonds on your map, you guys are in fact going to find them. You can take them down before you get your grind started, just to toss them in your lodge. But again, hotspot maps are going to make that zone finding process a million times easier, and missing zones is never a good thing because, like I said at the beginning, you're going to need your zones so that way you can get consistent respawns. Now, something that I do when I'm searching for my zones is spot absolutely everywhere, and the reason that you want to be spotting every single area on the coastline of every water source is because of the fact that zones can be tucked up in little areas that you can't see very clearly, and if you haven't gotten 100% visibility all the way around the coast of whatever water source you're checking, I would strongly suggest moving to make sure that you can see the entire coast, so that way you can find every zone that could possibly be there. So guys, before we move on to the next portion of today's video, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to tell if you're getting consistent respawns and are ready to begin setting up and grinding. If this test doesn't work for you, then you do in fact need to find more drink zones. So what you guys are gonna wanna do is go ahead and pick a zone with males and females in it. Once you guys have found that specific zone, shoot one of the males out of that specific zone and one male only. Now what you guys are gonna wanna do is go ahead and claim that male that you just shot him in the intestines there. That's quite unfortunate. Go to an outpost or a tent, reset the time, leave the game, come back in, and if you have a new male here, meaning a male that you haven't seen before, if you've shot other deer in this process, there could be 2 new males there could be 3 new males there, or maybe there could just be 1 new male there. That's perfectly fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. Your respawns are going to be different every rotation, so just get used to them fluctuating. But if you have at least 1 new male there, you guys are getting consistent respawns and you have found all your drink zones. Now the alternate thing that can happen is you go to check and there could be no males there, and the only deer that you would find in that zone are the deer that were there when you shot that male, and no new deer have showed up, meaning the only thing that changed with that zone is there's 1 less deer in it. And with that being said, you guys are going to need to find more drink zones because you're not getting consistent respawns, therefore you don't have all your drink zones. Now if you think that 1 deer that you shot ended up jumping to a zone nearby, which is very possible, repeat that same process that I just showed you with a couple other drink zones, and if you don't get any respawns throughout all of those zones, you have more zones to find. If at any point in your grind you stop getting respawns, you do in fact have more zones that you're going to need to go find. This happens more commonly if you accidentally shoot a female or 2, or if you shoot solos, so it's just best that you check your zones at least once a week, just to make sure that you're staying efficient and there's no deer at zones that you don't know about which could possibly mess with your respawns. And in the herd management point of view, if you're using herd management, sometimes diamonds and just bigger deer in general that aren't supposed to be in any zones besides your main zones will jump and create new solo zones, or they might just jump and join a zone that you already have shot down. If you don't know what I'm talking about, stay tuned. Just here in a few minutes we're going to talk about herd management. So my friends, now that you're sure that you have all your drink zones found, we can now move into getting set up and starting your very first Great One grind. So if you're using herd management, this is where the guide's going to kind of split 2 ways, and I'm going to recommend to you that you turn on notifications and subscribe so that you're notified when I make my updated herd management guide coming very soon. Like I said, we're going to cover a little bit of herd management today and just cover the basics for y'all. There is a detailed herd management guide on my channel right now, and that video is linked in the description for you guys. But if you'd like the best possible quality content, again, I would strongly suggest turning on notifications, or at least staying up to date with the channel, as there is a detailed guide coming very soon, along with a skills and perks guide for beginner players. Oh my goodness, we have a 9 legendary guaranteed troll here in front of us. Very unfortunate, it's a guaranteed troll, but we might as well get him taken down. I am going to shoot him with a 300, considering he is a guaranteed troll. About 150 meters, should just just be able to drop him like so. And maybe we got an 8 mythical here. Can get a bullet into him too, maybe? Bullet or two? Don't see anything else. I thought I seen a 5 over here, but looks like we'll have to worry about him next time. So to get set up for a great one grind, what you're going to want to do in the herd management point of grinding is go ahead and get set up on 16 different zones using 16 of your tents and 16 tripods. Now, if you're not using herd management, wait a minute and I'll show you what you should do. Once you're set up on those 16 zones, go ahead and start to rotate one by one and get those males shot down. Once your zones are fully shot down, you're going to want to pick up your tent and tripod and move to another zone. In this process, you're going to want to pick 6 to 12 of your favorite zones. I personally recommend zones that are wide open and have a lot of deer in them, or just zones that are easy for you to harvest in general. Where is my dog? Zones that are easy for you to shoot out of in general with a dense amount of males and females, as you should never be hunting on solo zones unless you're getting them shot down, because when you shoot a solo zone, that zone will vanish, and setting up on it would just be a massive waste of time because, like I said, it will vanish. $1,200 there, nice. These 6 to 12 zones are going to be your main shooting zones. Now, on these zones, you guys are going to want to set up with 110, 1 or 2 tripods depending on the clarity of your shooting lanes. For example, this shooting lane right here is very clear. So if I were going to do this grind on a daily basis, I would probably put 1 tent here, 1 tripod here, and there's really no need for 2 tripods unless there was a zone over here, which there is, and then maybe I would put another tripod in that area over there so I can have a clear shot on this area. You guys will get it figured out. Nobody's zones are the exact same, so don't take my word for it and set up exactly how I just said, but you will have zones at the same water sources as everyone else. The placement of your zones will just be random. It could be the same, and it could be very different. The other thing that you guys are going to want to set up on your main shooting zones is a claim tent. Now, if you don't know what a claim tent is, it's essentially just a tent that you place on top of the zone that you're shooting. So that way, once you fast travel to the tent you're shooting out of, get into the tripod and shoot the zone, you can have a tent on top of the zone that you just shot from to fast travel to that tent, claim your kills, and eliminate the process of running over there to get them, which is something that I'm doing right now because, again, this is not going to be my main grind. I'm just using it as an example. We have 2 more deer out there. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of red deer at this lake. And basically the point of a claim tent is to eliminate that 5 or 6 minutes of running around the entire lake, because over time that 5 or 6 minutes is going to add up very fast, and it can take several hours out of your grind depending on how long your grind is. Instead of running around, you can simply just fast travel to the claim tent, claim your kills, and move on to another zone. Now, you shouldn't be using claim tents in your herd management process of shooting down your zones, or your exterior zones to be more specific, as you would want to be utilizing all 16 of the tents that they'll let you use to manage 16 zones at once, so that way you can move as quickly as possible and get into that main shooting phase on those main 6 to 12 zones. And last but not least, the reason that we do use claim tents at our main zones is because of the fact that having around 6 main shooting zones, you're going to have some extra tents left over, and you might as well just use those as claim tents to speed up the process. Again, I definitely would not recommend using claim tents in the herd management process of getting your exterior shot down because of the fact that you're going to want to do 16 zones at a time, because for some of these grinds like red deer, you can get into 50, 60 drink zones. In grinds like moose over in Medved, you can get 100 plus drink zones. And a 16 tent limit on one map is really not that much, so you're really going to want to make sure that you're using all 16 of those tents at 16 different drink zones. And every now and then, especially with a red deer grind, you can use 110 for multiple different drink zones. And as long as you're good with follow-up shots, or you're far enough away to where the drink zone that you're planning on shooting after you shot a drink zone isn't going to spook, you might be able to use one of those 16 tents to shoot down multiple zones at a time, and that is very possible with a red deer grind. Trust me, claim tents are worth it. I personally did my first red deer grind without claim tents, and about halfway through the grind I ended up switching to claim tents just because of the fact that I was grinding so slowly, and my kills per hour boosted rapidly from around 20 to over 100. Once you get really good at grinding, it starts to become muscle memory, and you can almost do it with your eyes closed. It's kind of crazy, but yes, you can. So guys, from this point on, you should be fully set up and good to start grinding, but don't leave yet as I still have more information to provide to you. But first, let's cover getting set up for our non-herd management grinders. If you're not using herd management, I'm going to recommend you right off the bat that you do, but basically all you're going to need to do is pick 16 zones, get set up, and shoot every male you see in the hopes of spawning a great one. Now, you are still going to spawn diamonds and rares along the way, but you won't spawn nearly as many, and those diamonds and rares that you do spawn will not be as big, and just overall, you're not going to have very big deer to shoot in general, making the grind very draining, and it can ruin a lot of people's motivation when they see other people who are using advanced methods like herd management get multiple diamonds per hour. With the fallow grind, you can get like 5 or 6 diamonds per hour depending on how efficient your herd management is. For me, I'd get 3 to 4 per hour, but I've seen it go insane. I think my record is like 10 in 1 hour. Which is crazy. I can't even believe I can say that. But if you're not using herd management in the process of shooting those 16 zones, you guys are going to want to make sure that you're checking all of your exterior zones, or the zones that you're not harvesting from or set up at, because when you're not using herd management, it kind of eliminates that efficiency of knowing where all your deer are. And when you shoot a buck, it can really respawn anywhere on your map. It doesn't happen very often. As long as you have all your drink zones, it shouldn't happen very often at all. But I know a lot of people who have had multiple 1,000 kill grinds without using herd management, and for probably 100 or 200 kills, they had a great one on their map, and it wasn't in a zone that they were aware of. So again, I would strongly suggest checking out those zones that you guys are not set up at, but in the end, I would always recommend herd management to a new grinder, as it just makes the entire process a lot more fun, and it makes your grind very efficient. If you want a specific herd management guide for a specific species, definitely stay tuned for my detailed herd management guide for any species in the game. At level 7 there, taking off. Where are you going, buddy? But yeah, if you want to fill a lodge with a bunch of diamonds, crazy rares, and multiple great ones, herd management is definitely going to be the way to go. Look at this level 7. What the heck? His left side is that kind of normal, common level 7 rack, and then he's got the crab rack on the right, which is very interesting. I don't remember them looking like that. Maybe it's just because it's been a while since I started to grind. I don't really remember them looking like that. That's some type of rare spawn for a level 7, I think. Definitely take a screenshot of that. Or maybe it's just because I haven't hunted red deer in like a year and I've just been so used to the fallow. I don't know, but I got the screenshot. But guys, last but not least here today, I am going to share with you a tip that will boost your efficiency even more. If you're using the proper weapon to shoot your animals like the 308 with red deer, fallow, or whitetail, use the 300 to shoot common deer. That's something you guys have seen me do throughout the entire video, as it'll take them down way faster than using the proper caliber. And if you're grinding bear or moose, this doesn't really apply to you, as the 300 in class 7 to 9 weapons will give you integrity right off the bat, so you can just use the 300 and not have to worry about anything. Obviously, for any trophy deer, you guys are going to want to make sure that you use the proper caliber, but it's always a great choice to have 2 weapons on you in general, most commonly for tar and the deer species, the Arzina 300 and the Zarza 308, and just using a bigger caliber is going to take them down way faster and eliminate that tracking process, or at least just make it shorter, so that way you guys don't have to be running all over your map, wasting time searching for animals that you probably didn't shoot very well if the tracking process is that long. And it happens. As you guys can see, the deer my dog is tracking right now, I did not shoot very well at all, but I did shoot it with a 300, therefore it is going to die. In fact, if you shoot a fallow or a red deer, or I think even a whitetail with a 308 and you don't get a vital organ, or maybe it's just any organ in general, the deer will not die, which is a bad thing because you're going to come back the next rotation looking for a respawn, and then you're going to have to shoot the same deer again. And as you can see here, I would bet money this is probably a flesh shot. No, we shot him in the spine there. But again, no vital organ, as you can see, and with a 300, he did not make it very far at all. The game says we tracked him 0 meters, but I'd say he ran 20 or 30 meters, which is not bad at all considering it wasn't even a vital organ. And with the 308, he probably would have ran at least 100 meters. But with that being said, guys, I really do hope that this video did in fact help you guys out today. If it did, definitely let me know down below by smashing that like button and subscribing, as it is much appreciated and can help out a ton with the YouTube algorithms. Comment cookie down below if you made it to this point in the video, and I will pin your comment, as it is much appreciated, and over 75% of you guys leave within the first 5 minutes of the video. And I know the people who really enjoy the channel and just my general hardcore viewers in general who tune into all the live streams always make it to the end, and that is much appreciated from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys all so much for watching. My name is Squid, this is Squidster, and we'll see you later. Peace.